in northern Los Angeles at a money storage facility. What's that? Cash from businesses across the region, well, they're held there. Sources telling CNN the burglars broke through the roof, bypassed the alarms, entered the vault by cutting through the ceiling, and then exited the building by breaking through a rear wall.
Yeah, generally, Philip, he's staying in the same area, very close to the Coliseum, probably within about a square mile area, just to the south and to the west of the Coliseum. Looks like he's setting up for a westbound turn here. I believe this is Vernon. I'm sorry, eastbound on Vernon Street, making his way back towards Vermont. Now, what we're seeing is we're not sure there's two or you see a bag just came out, like a plastic bag, possibly what the money was in, just came out, more bags being thrown out. Possibly one or two people in the back seat. It's hard to tell. We've seen both of those rear windows roll down, and we've seen that person in the back seat out of both of those windows.
It's one of the largest cash heists in the city's history. I know, you've probably got 30 million questions. So do I. So for starters, you ever see what $30 million in cash looks like in person?
Very hard to tell if it's that same person or a different person as he continues eastbound here. But, yeah, we've seen pedestrians jumping out of the way as he turns southbound here. Seen pedestrians jumping out of the way. More money. Yeah, southbound here. We're going to catch up here southbound. Now, again, look at that. Look at people running out into the street picking up this money. Absolutely.
Me either. But here's a taste. This is $30 million stacked in $100 bills. Now, we don't know the denominations of the stolen cash, but in $100 bills, that would be about 661 pounds.
Yeah, now we're back eastbound again, making his way back towards Figueroa. We'll give you the street here in a second. But, yeah, throwing money out almost every few blocks, and you can see people diving out of the street to get that cash. Now that we're on the air and everybody's watching this, you can see everybody running into the streets there, right in that intersection there, as he's throwing money out. Now, be assured that that is a felony. You're not allowed to take that money.
If it were in $50 bills, more than 1,300 pounds. $20 bills, 3,300 pounds. And in case the burglars really ran into a challenge, $1 bills would have been 66,000 pounds.
That's supposed to be given back to the police department. Right now, that's stolen money, and that's almost T-boned truck there. But now going back northbound. Yep. Yeah. Now, you can see this truck now, a pedestrian's truck, just a civilian truck trying to get in his way to slow him down. Definitely don't want to do that. Now this other truck is involved in this pursuit, which is not a good idea. Not sure if that person is running interference for this person or if it's involved, but that is something that person is definitely going to be taken into custody for getting involved in this pursuit and interfering with police operations. You don't want to do that. He's back to the right or back behind us, Al, so we're going to go as more money comes out.
So, about all those questions, who better to help than the person who first broke this story, along with a former bank robber?
A lot of people watching this, getting involved in this pursuit, running out the streets back westbound as we hurry up to catch up. You can see that at least 3 or 4 agents, about 6 sheriff's cars involved. LA County Sheriff's Air Support Aero Bureau overhead right now as they come back up. We believe this is either Hoover or Vermont. Look at all the people just standing around waiting for this. Passing Vermont. Yeah, moving now westbound on 47th from Vermont.
Bank robberies, you never think that is one of your family members.
Keon McGowan is not justifying her nephew's actions, but she wants everyone to know a little more about Lavelle Mosley, who McGowan says is one of the suspects arrested after a pursuit.
I'm in trouble. He didn't have to say anything. The news said it all.
It all began with the bank robbery in Santa Clarita. 4 men,
3 went into the bank this morning and 1 was outside with a getaway car,
fled the scene in this SUV. Law enforcement agencies were first led to Sylmar, where 2 suspects jumped out. Only 1 was later caught. Then 2 others continued onto the 210, then 110 freeway and into South Los Angeles. There, police gave chase while one of the suspects gave out money.
Still more money coming out the window.
McGowan believes it was her nephew throwing out the money to residents in his neighborhood.
We are poor. I mean, that don't justify what happens, but we're desperate.
Crowds swarmed the streets to catch some cash.
Back up, move!
At this intersection, crowds blocked the getaway car. The two men had nowhere to go. McGowan says this is her nephew being arrested.
It was very heartbreaking. This is my family.
McGowan says Mosley, a father of twin girls, recently lost his other aunt, who was like a mother to him. He also lost his younger brother. His grandmother on the verge of losing her home.
I'm not saying that justify what's going on, but sometimes we're out of our minds. We're not thinking at that point in time.
The man who outgrew his prison cell. Gentlemen, thank you for both joining me this evening. Everyone is talking about this story and trying to figure out how, why, and of course, who. Richard, what are your sources telling you about how this heist was even carried out?
It was carried out very quietly on a holiday, which is not unusual when it comes to big heists. They choose the place and time when there's the least opposition, and this was clearly designed to be stealthy. They won't look, unlike that movie, there wasn't going to be any guards. They just had to evade all the security systems, make an access, and yes, they had to remove an amount of cash, which certainly is like a small elephant.
I mean, Joe, you're the one with the experience here, to say the least. I'm wondering, from your perspective, when I describe what is entailed, seemingly, how much planning would go into something like this?
Well, the crime is dictated by the inside of the place. So if the place says you have to be here to avoid these to avoid these cameras, and then maybe you have to push this code here and wait for this to happen. How you have to maneuver through there is your plan. And I believe it's an inside plan. So I believe that everybody who was involved in robbing it already understood that they understood what they had to do, where they had to be, what cameras to avoid.